Right, okay, what we've got a full adder circuit, okay, which is used to add two bit values together, which we've labelled as A and B, okay, taking into account a carry. So what you've got is the bare bones of addition for an arithmetic and logic unit, okay. So this comprises of 5 gates, and in order to add up 4 bits, you would need 4 sets of these. Okay, but we're not going to worry about how the logic of it works too much. I might explain a little bit at the end, but that's second year work really, and we're not really that bothered about that at this moment in time. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a truth table of this circuit. So the starting point, as always, is how many inputs have we got? And we've got 3 inputs. So we're going to just label those inputs A, B and C in. Right, so with 3 inputs, that's 8 possible combinations. So we're going to have 8 rows to our table. But the easy way to do this is just to take the right hand input and just alternate it every row. So not 1, not 1, not 1, not 1. The second one, alternate it every 2. So not 1, 1, no, 1, 1, and the final one to alternate it every 4. Then we don't mess up and miss a combination of noughts and ones out. That's why we do it that way. You can do it however you want, but that's what I suggest. Okay, now what we want to do is logically take this one gate at a time and show the truth table for each one. So if we start with this one, which is an exclusive OR, so we can go A exclusive OR B. Now what we must do is make sure we're using the right columns. Okay, so we're doing A and B, so it's these two. And if you remember the truth table for exclusive OR, if the bits are different, then you get a 1 as an output. If they're the same, i.e. they're both noughts or both ones, you get a 0 as an output. So if we look down this, we go, right, okay, they're the same, so that's no, they're different, they're different, they're different, they're different, they're the same, they're the same. Okay, I'm going to tick my little diagram so I know I've done that gate. The next one is the AND. So if we trace back what are we ANDing, it's the inputs A and B again. So we're going to do A and B. Okay, so we've got to make sure we're looking at the right columns. So it's these. Now AND, remember, what we're doing is we have to have a 1 on both inputs to get a 1 as the output. So anywhere where we've got a naught, the output's definitely going to be naught. So the first 6, if you look at the A's and B's, so we've got naught, 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 and then the final 2, they're both 1s. So we get 2 1s at the end. Okay, we can tick that off. Right, now we've got 3 gates left. We can't do this one yet because we need the output from that one and the output of that one. So what we can do is this next XOR. So we need to trace what we're XORing. So we're going to look back. So it's the output of this exclusive OR. So we've got A exclusive OR B exclusive OR with, and then the other line, if we look, is here, and that's coming from C in. So we're essentially what we're doing is we're adding the carry to the result of adding the A and B. It's a little bit more complicated, but that's essentially what's happening. So we need to check this column and the C in column. So I'm just going to put a little marker so I keep myself focused on those two. We're exclusive OR in them, so we're looking for where we've got differences. Okay, so when we got a 1 and a 0 or a 0 and a 1, we'll get a 1 on the output. Where they're the same, we get a 0. So they're the same to start with, then they're different, so we get a 1. They're different again, so we get a 1. They're the same, so we get a 0. They're different, so we get a 1. They're the same, so we get a 0. They're different, no, they're the same, sorry, because they're both 0s, and then they're different. Okay. So we can tick that one off. If we do the AND next, so we've got an AND of C in and the output from this exclusive OR, which was A exclusive OR B. So I'm going to do A exclusive OR B and C in. So it's the same two columns that we just did. Okay, so I've got my little markers. These are the two. So we're doing and here. Okay, and I always remember and because it looks like an A. I can never remember that V is OR. All right, but the and looks like that. That's how I remember it. So I'm going to go and look, because I'm anding, they both got to be 1 to get an output of 1. Otherwise we get no output. So we've got the first 3, that's going to be zeros. Because we've got 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Then we've got 1, 1, so we get an output of 1. Different, so we haven't got 2 1s. Then we have got 2 1s. And then the final 2, we've got 0 and 1, 0. So they're both going to be 0. Okay, so I'm going to put a little tick. The final one we've got to do is this OR at the end. And it's the OR from the 2 AND gates. Okay, so effectively what we've got here, we've got a logic unit that adds 2 bits together and produces a carry. And then we've got another logic unit that takes the output from that, the value we got to add, and adds another carry to it. So it's what we call the half adders that make up this full adder, but we'll cover that in detail when we do the second year work. Okay. Right, so we're going to do that OR at the end. So it's the OR from this AND, which was just A and B. So we're going to OR that with the other AND, which was the one that we've just done, which is this rather complicated looking one, which is the exclusive OR and the other carry. So we've got A, or B, and C in. So essentially we're doing this column and this column. So we're just going to look at the last 2. Now it just turns out that I did it in a sensible order, so that the ones I want to do are next to each other and the last 2 I've got. Okay. Well, no, they're not actually, because I need the A and B in a plank. So it's that one. So I've got to be very careful when I do this. Okay. Right, so I'm just ORing them together. So as long as I've got a 1 in either that column or that column, I'll get a 1 as the output. Okay. So if I look, I've got 0 and 0, so that's going to be 0. I've got 0 and 0, so that's going to be 0. I've got 0 and 0, so that's going to be 0. I've got 0 and 1, so that's going to be 1. 0 and 0, so that's going to be 0. Then I've got 0 and 1, so that's going to be 1. I've got 1 and 0, so that's going to be 1. And I've got 1 and 0, so that's going to be a 1. So that's the completion of my little table. Now, the only things I'm really interested in the bit that I'm going to go through, are the values for S and C out, because these are the things that are important. So when we add 2 values together, we've got an imaginary carry of 0. We go 1, 0 and 0, so that's 1 carry 0. So we want to be able to check that when we've got 1, 0 and 1 as our input, so A, B and C, okay, when we add those together, that we get 1 carry 0. So the sum, so this is S and this is the carry. Okay, so we can check that through because we know how to add up 2 bits. Alright, that's quite nice and straightforward and simple, so we can check that. So this final one we did here, that was the carry. And the final XOR that we did, which is here, which was the XOR of A XOR B XORed with C in, that's that one, that is our sum. Okay, so if we look at the input values, so when we say we've got 0, 0 and 0 added together, we should get nothing for the answer and nothing for the carry. So that one's correct. Let's do the next one. We've got nothing plus a carry is 1 carry nothing. That's good. The next input is 0 plus 1 plus 0, which should be 1 carry 0. The next one, where it starts getting a little bit more interesting, 0 plus 1 plus 1 is 2 carry, is 2 in binary, which is 0 carry 1. So if we look at our sum, we get 0 and the carry of 1, so that's worked. The next one is 1 plus 0 plus 0, which is 1 carry 0, and carry is 0. The next one is 1 plus 0 plus a carry, which is an answer of 0 carry 1, okay, because it's 2. So remember, when we do that, I'll just quickly do that again. So if we had two values together, you go 1 and 1 is 0 carry 1. That's what this circuit's doing. Okay, just adding 2 bits together. Right, so carrying on, we've then got 1 and 1 plus 0 is 0 carry 1. And then the last one, the big daddy of all the additions of 2 bits, is if you can have a big daddy. We have got a 1 plus a 1 plus a 1 is 3, which is 1 carry 1. Okay, so that is your circuit. That is the truth table. We've checked. We may have made mistakes here, but if we have, we've somehow miraculously made mistakes that made the whole circuit work. But we've checked the 2 outputs. Now this is related to like white box testing because we know the path through the circuit, but we've checked all the inputs and we've got the expected outputs. Okay. And that's it, and that's flooded, but we'll look at that in a lot more detail for the second year work when we do that. Okay, thank you very much. I just say it's a bit of a pain because I've recorded this video twice. The first time the audio got dropped, which is a real nightmare because these are quite interactive, these sessions, because I've got my students sat on the other side of the camera and it's pretty soulless. At the minute I'm doing it to an empty classroom, which is a bit weird, don't like it. But there you go. That's technology for you.